Get ready for the Squawking Eagles Podcast, the show that covers only the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hello, and welcome to the Squawking Eagles Podcast. I'm Mike, your host, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Miguel and Mark. How's it going, guys?
So, what do you want to talk about today, Mikey?
Good day to be a Philly sports fan.
I don't know about that, Mark. There's a lot of stuff that's happened, on and off the court, on and off the ice. There's some leaked uniforms. It's not great. Not a great time, actually. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all.
Nope, it's sarcastic city here, my guy.
So on today's episode, we will be reacting to a interview done on the Up and Adams show, where this girl, I forget her name is, what's her name?
Kay Adams?
Kay Adams.
How do you forget Kay Adams' name? My
Easily.
guy.
She's a fellow Eagle fan, Mike. You should know that.
Easily.
She's probably a loyal follower of the Squawking Eagles podcast. And
maybe after today she will be. We'll see. Kay Adams.
He was amazing on Good Morning Football. I haven't had the chance to watch Up and Adams as much, but
well, you're going to get a little taste right now. She interviewed Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. She discussed her questions. She had good questions. I'll let you react to it with us when we're watching.
Let's go. Let's do this.
We're going to talk a little conspiracy theories about the Super Bowl and one Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Just want to put it out there because I just watched a YouTube video about it, and it's hilarious. It's pretty.
I'd rather talk about Chip Kelly.
No, that's not really that hard for you. That's really not that hard.
Why do you have to keep bringing your guy's name in the podcast?
That's not hard for you at all.
It was an easy segue. It was just
right. Of course.
Yeah.
I threw it up there for you.
He did. You softball pitch, man. I'm going to smack out of the park.
And also, we're going to do a little Super Bowl preview of Super Bowl 58. See, what are our thoughts on the game? If we're even going to watch it, I'm going to watch it. I don't know if you guys are going to watch, but we'll discuss.
I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So, if you want to follow us over on Instagram, Squawking Eagles Podcast, follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Squawking Eagles Podcast, and then over on TeePublic, I've been uploading some new merch over there. I'm just actually working on a couple of new things today, and I'll be uploading that later on this week.
Sweet.
All right, let's get started. I'm going to hit play. I'll stop and pause.
Hold on. We're going to start with the screen, right? Just typical Eagle fashion.
Yes, this screen. Yes. I'm going to start playing it, and then I'll pause after maybe they answer a question, and then we can react to it, and we'll start going. It's only about 12 minutes, but we're not going to watch the whole thing because
it'll be a while.
We don't need to. All right, here we go.
Outperforming his rookie contract by miles, and the other is proving why he's always open. Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, welcome to the show. Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Hi, happy to have you. Happy to see you both. Now, you guys are here with Bounty as part of the Wingman campaign, so we're going to dig into that. We're going to.
If you haven't seen that, go watch their
as a wingman,
eating wings commercial.
To do something here, I'm going to play my favorite highlight. We as a team on my show picked my favorite play from you guys this year, and I want you to sort of do play-by-play of each other. So, Devontae, I want you to talk me through this play. It's AJ's one-handed grab against the Commanders. Can you do that for me?
Right.
Yeah. So,
he doesn't really care about doing that at all.
Earlier in the week at practice, and we always talk about going out and practice. That's where you try things, just in case it come up in the game. You have it in the toolbox. And,
I'm going to fast forward a little bit because we want to hear them talk about.
AJ, why did you score a
trade.
million touchdowns against Washington?
Click
You had 4. What was going on? Ask this because it's everywhere. Why does Twitter have this wild idea that you're getting traded?
Devontae Smith's already laughing.
I don't know. Maybe
I agree.
I don't know.
I mean, have you heard anything about this? Is this like a media thing? Where is it's everywhere? I'm sure you've seen it.
I kind of been through this before. I'm a vet. So I'll remain quiet, and if something happens, I'll be waiting by the phone, and not, then I'll be right here.
I'm getting all sorts of messages on YouTube. Why would they trade him? They wouldn't trade him. That's so messed up. Media this, media that, because it's Twitter. Are you happy where you are? And I think people are pointing to this because they saw you scrubbed your Instagram.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with football or, that's me just trying to grow as a person, I'm just trying to, block out any negativity that I can, as you see, as one of the reasons why, so, but yeah.
Okay, well, I love hearing that. Some fans are worried that you're going to miss the Pro Bowl with that knee injury. Anything to be concerned about, or are we just playing it safe?
No, nothing to be concerned about. I'm all good. I just kind of just decided not to go to the Pro Bowl. I don't want to pretend like I want to be there when I don't, So yeah, and also I want to try to give somebody else an opportunity. But even St. Brown, he ended up going. But, I try to look out for the other guys who've never been to the Pro Bowl too. So.
That's amazing. I love that. Now, Devontae, you guys have a new offensive coordinator. Everyone wants to know about Kellen
This is a
Moore.
good part
Have you guys
here.
heard from him yet?
No, I haven't spoke to him yet.
Okay, if you could have one wish and say, Kellen Moore, this is what I need for next season. This is what I want you to bring into this locker room,
Give me the
into
ball.
this offense.
Run
what
the
would that
ball.
be?
Just let us do what we do.
Stay
What
away.
does that mean?
Leave me alone.
Like anybody else, let's say, just give us the ball.
Devontae, if Jason Kelce retires and he's gone, what's missing from that locker room next year?
A lot.
Jason Kelce.
I would say the
Jason
the
Kelce's
captain,
missing.
person that really runs everything. Everybody in that locker room respects him. A guy that's been doing it for a long time at a very high level, and everybody respects him. Everybody knows the importance of him being a part of this team.
AJ, who would take over for Jason being the captain then in the locker room?
I think it'll be a group effort, man. I don't think one person can just easily just take over, man. He's done a tremendous job, and he's a great leader, great person. I think, or if he doesn't return, we're gonna miss the person most important.
Hanging out with AJ and Devontae ahead of the Super Bowl. Of course, you guys were there. You wanted to be there again, and
So,
I asked.
they're
Twitter,
talking
I asked on
about,
YouTube, what do you guys want me
about
to
Jason
ask them
Kelce.
to?
He says that
And
he wants
out
to
of
be part of the
1,000
Eagles still.
responses,
Even though he
900
may
of
not
them
play, he
are,
wants to be
what
part of the
happened?
organization somehow.
AJ, now you're a little removed.
Yeah.
The most we need to pause.
So what he said was that Jason Kelce, they'll miss Jason Kelce, but what they want to do is that Jason Kelce actually has said that he will want to be part of the organization somehow. He doesn't know in what extent, but he wants to be part of it.
GM.
Owner, GM, yeah.
Mayor of the city.
Yeah. What do you think? What are your Miguel? What do you think of what AJ Brown's his answer was to Kay Adams' question about him being traded?
Well, I like to address that at times. I like national shows like that try to get an insight on a fan base. They use Twitter, and sometimes Twitter doesn't give you the correct feeling of the fan base. It depends on what your algorithm is, what you're going to see in regarding the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a theory out there that was brought up by the Goldberg's podcast that had said that they think that WIP had put a poll out there that asked their fans if they will, or the listeners, if they would be willing to trade, theoretically, AJ Brown for Patrick Surtain, which was a rumor earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a poll, and there's a theory out there that maybe she saw that poll and just assumed that there is speculation of the Eagles trying to negotiate a trade. As for Elliot Short-Park says, he's known nothing about that the whole him scrubbing the Instagram was just him just trying to get away from the negativity, which and to his point, instead of just scrubbing it, he should have just erase the app. Like, just erase the app. You don't have to scrub it. Just erase the app. You don't have to do
Right.
anything.
I mean, if he still wants to use the app.
So, but if you're trying to get away from negativity, why would you keep the app? Because you're going to run into something that's eventually going to show you the negativity he was trying to avoid. So, I think, as far as that question goes, that I think that's how those type of things can lead to misinformation, and it's just that his answer just compiled more fire on, or more fuel onto the fire.
Oh, for sure it did. For sure, it didn't make anybody feel good
right.
about what he said.
He didn't shoot it, and then I heard he went on to another interview, and they asked him more in depth, and something about being by the phone, and that if the phone rings, that he'll answer it. So it's like he's not even saying that he's like looking forward to the off season and bonding with his new teammates or whoever comes in and knowing the system. And that's another thing that's kind of strange. They have not, mentioned Kellen Moore's hire as far as
the Eagles have not. The Eagles have officially not, and that's why we haven't discussed it yet.
So maybe that's why they haven't contacted Devontae Smith. But then everybody blows everything out of proportion. So it looks bad against the organization not contacting the players and letting them know who their new OC is. But I mean, we're still fresh into the off season. This is what we haven't even gotten past the Super Bowl yet. So there's still things that could change. Maybe they're holding back on making the OC official because maybe there's somebody in the last two teams that are here in the Super Bowl, and the 49ers or Chiefs, that they might want to have a chance to talk to see how much interest they have in becoming the OC for us. So, maybe they got Kellen Moore on the back burner and seeing what's out there. So it'll be interesting to see what goes forward. But I mean, media blows up a lot of things, and I think today that interview and the interview that followed kind of added more fuel to the fire that didn't need to be there. And I remember told you last week that all that stuff that was going on the week before is the beginning of the tailspin. And this just makes it feel like it's already fuel. It's going down. So it's kind of sad, but here we are.
And also maybe it's just the media that's doing it, and there's really nothing behind, in the locker room that's actually happening at all.
Remember last year I was talking about clickbait. Like Sports Illustrated, perfect example. They put stupid stuff out there so people can be like, oh shit, clickbait, and then get Philadelphia reaction. And then Philadelphia media takes it, blows it up even more, gives it more attention. And then all of a sudden, CBS Sports, Fox News, whoever is putting this misinformation out gets what they want.
Yeah.
The world's full of it.
So, Mark, what are your thoughts? I don't know if you've watched that video or not before. But
I haven't watched that video, but I've seen rumors about him getting traded since that last game of the season when he got hurt. After that, people were saying he was so fed up. It's clear the past few games how fed up he is. He clearly wants out of the team. He doesn't want to be here anymore. I'm like, no, bro. I don't care what you guys are saying. You as much as we do. We're just fans speculating. I don't care if you're a professional sports writer or not. If you're not in that building, if you're not in that locker room where those guys are chatting with each other away from the cameras, you don't know anything. You know nothing. All it is speculation. And like you said, clickbait. Hey, talking about your top player getting traded, that's going to get clicks. Yeah. If you were to label this podcast the AJ Brown trade podcast, guess what? People are probably going to click on it. Not for good reasons though, because we're not. I don't want us to do something like that. I want to be a lying piece of crap like that. And I get why she'd bring it up. Because it's all over. You go online, I see it every day. People posting about it, and I'm like, what is this nonsense?
No, it's complete nonsense. If you do the math, it's just stupid.
Monster for the team. Him and Devontae are two of the most dynamic duo receivers in the league right now. And you're going to split that up because of some bad play calling. You already got rid of the coordinators.
Yeah,
nobody get rid of the players that are actually worth keeping. You
don't get rid of somebody and then take a $29 million cap hit because it didn't have he didn't have a bad year. Like
his career
AJ Brown didn't have a bad year. Like let's get that straight. It'd be different if we were talking about he only had like 500 yards this year. He had over 1,000 yards.
No receiver have over 500 yards. Yeah, that I get. That I would get. Yeah. But we didn't. He had almost 1,500 yards.
Yeah. And he set a record with amount of 125 yards in 6 straight games. Like that, we don't talk about that because that's not clickbait enough, right? You only talk about let's trade this guy, but he's only one of the top receivers in the NFL, and if you do trade him, you're going to take a huge hit, and that's stupid.
Well, I saw something a while ago that said something about the way that social media clicks are. is that celebratory items are a quick hit of like awesome, like hey, everyone's happy about it.
Mhm.
They usually have like a smaller reaction and
Mhm.
it dies faster.
100%.
But something that causes a stir, causes unhappy reactions, tends to get picked up longer. And because the way social media works with algorithms, it gets pushed higher and higher because more people react to it because they're not happy with it.
Mark,
so that's why we're gonna get this.
You are. I would say you are 100. It's hard for me to say this, but you are 100% correct.
Thank you. I'm used to it, but
You know, because I will say right now, there's 2 videos on our Instagram account where there's the first 2 games where they beat the Chiefs and they beat the Dolphins, I think, back to back, whatever games those were, and then I posted a video of those 2 those scores with Steve Harvey. Now that was like almost a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. That still gets hits with people saying, "Oh, look what happened!" This, and then the one where I posted where the Eagles were 10-1, and that's still people hit that, be saying, guess what? I'm a time traveler. It doesn't get better, right? They only win one more game. Like, those are negative things, and then the algorithm is just keeps
pushes them.
He's pushing it. It's pushing more of a negative algorithm to people, especially Philadelphia Eagles, than they are a positive.
And that thing is not even just Philadelphia. That's if you look at all the issues that they have, social media studies psychologically with children, like teenagers and such, it's all the same. The negative stuff always gets blown up. It's always longer. It's always more, and it just happens in sports too. And we just have to deal with it. So look, I 100% expect Devontae Smith and AJ Brown to be a tandem duo receiver pair in Philadelphia next season. With Jalen Hurts at quarterback, with our whole O-line returning. Kelsey, I love you. Don't go away. We need you. Chunk of our D-line. I think we're going to lose a couple. I think Cox looks like he might be, which is, I get. I will say, though, interesting thing. I saw 2 conflicting theories this week, and I thought you guys might enjoy them.
Let's hear it.
So the first thing I first saw that Fletcher Cox was considering retirement.
Yep.
And then I saw a letter saying maybe he's going to hit free agency and go join a former coach. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The only other former coach you could possibly have, because someone said Andy Reid. I'm like, he wasn't under Andy Reid.
Yeah, Andy Reid drafted him.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Either way.
Spagnuolo.
For what, 1 season? 2 seasons?
2 or 3 seasons.
Either way. I was thinking maybe Peterson, and I was like, is Peterson going to have a job? Anyway.
Hey, don't disrespect my Jags.
Peterson's gonna have a job there. But I will say, I did hear a different rumor. And this is the one that I really want to see your guys' reactions on, because it's an interesting thought. I heard, and I want to clarify that this is 100% rumor. There's no fact in this at all. I have nothing to back it up other than the people I've heard it from. I've heard that there was rumor inside the Kansas City building that Reid had already discussed with ownership his intent to retire at the end of the season.
Wow, I haven't heard that at all.
And that Belichick hasn't been taking any jobs or meeting with other teams because he is planning to go take over Kansas City and have a young quarterback and a stout defense for him to coach again.
It is interesting.
Fits his narrative really well.
Right, it does.
I don't know how a year off of football helps Belichick.
Oh, he wouldn't take a year off. I'm talking end of this year. He comes back next year. Yeah, like he's waiting for the Super Bowl to end.
Right. That's the whole talk. Or also is with Sirianni. If Sirianni didn't, I guess, do what Jeffrey Lurie said, they were going to really be interested in bringing in Belichick, which I'm kind of glad that they didn't do that.
But didn't we like kind of debunk that because Jeffrey Lurie didn't like Belichick because of what he did?
Doesn't like Belichick.
Yeah, that's what the rumors were. That again, rumors.
He's not here. So
he's not here. He's not here. I think
who we should have coach the Eagles next year.
Me?
Who?
Miguel.
Yes.
Chip Miguel.
Knew it.
That would be interesting. That would also like prove to you that Belichick can't really coach. He's got to coach Andy Reid's team, and that's just not. I think that's just
the whole theory of was it Brady, was it Belichick has been completely answered now. Put it to bed. It was Brady.
It was Brady the whole time.
You know what, though? I actually don't entirely agree to that either. I agree to one fact that it was Brady's mentality, and I believe it's partly considered to the GM of of his times there, being able to purposely spread the money out to get. Because I've said this before about football.
That's important
you
too,
look
though.
at teams with stars. I mean, yeah, right now we're getting inundated with a ridiculous amount of Mahomes that makes me just want to gag. I don't want to deal with it at all. But you see teams that are good at spreading, like when teams are really good at spreading out their money and having an overall better team across the board,
right?
They tend to win the game more.
Yeah, but that theory also lends to you have to have a quarterback that's
which I said is his mentality, which is why I give him that
4-year contract that's based on a 6th-round draft pick. You know what I mean? It's not something that's
continues his whole career too. He's like, I know I wasn't the top pick, but I have 4 Super Bowl rings. So let me sign that $20 million contract. And it's like, wait, that kid who's done nothing to sign 115. Why 20? Because I want someone on my team to play with, and my wife makes more than me, so it's okay.
Right.
By the way, currently the Eagles have just posted Jalen Hurts at the skills competition.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I forgot that started.
Yeah,
I like this part of the program.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl games.
The skills competition was always fun.
Dude, I honestly, I think the skill competition should be part of the combine for the players too.
Yeah,
like combine school and all do this stuff.
He's not very accurate in these videos, by the way.
No, he is very accurate though when it needs to be happening. We mentioned Jason Kelce there, that he has stated that he may or may not retire. He's not sure yet. He said there was talks that him seeing Travis go to the Super Bowl one more time kind of gives him a little bit of a, you know what, maybe I can go one more round next year. He has yet to decide. But one thing I just want to talk about is that Jason Kelce is a big fan of backyard sports baseball. And he was just talking about on his podcast, the New Heights podcast. He wants to either buy the company because they haven't put out a game, I think, in 10 years. You know, Pablo Sanchez, right? He was the dominant player in backyard baseball. He wants to bring back Sanchez. It's got something in the name. Yep. He wants to bring him back. So I think that'd be pretty cool if he did that. Did you ever play those games growing up?
Of course.
I did play them. I for sure did, and I think it's an excellent idea. Retro gaming right now is a big thing in the gaming world. It's up and coming. Yep, as Mark
literally right next to me.
A Game Boy.
I'll show the color because I think if I show the actual picture, you'll get copyrighted because apparently they're really strict with what you can show by them.
Nintendo is very much, you can't really.
Nintendo and the Mon company that's very, very famous. That's actually the largest media franchise in the world. People don't even realize it. Yeah, I love them. I play them all the time. But I was showing people this the other night that I still have this, and then I also still have.
He's holding up a Game Boy Color if you're listening.
And true. And now Game Boy Advance SP. This was the first one with backlighting. Absolutely.
I had that.
Difference.
I had that one.
Yeah, and I still have a Game Boy Advance somewhere as well. I was big into handheld gaming in the 2000s.
Well, my question is to you guys is that since McKelsey wants to bring back this backyard, what game franchise Kelsey wants to bring back?
You said McKelsey.
McKelsey, yeah.
You have said McKelsey. I did. I will say I played backyard hockey. I know that will shock you guys, but that's what I played.
I have 2 questions. One, what is the game you played the most that you would play when it first came out all the time, and would you still play now? That's my first question. The second question is,
list, Mike.
I just need one. And then the second question is, what game franchise that's defunct, like backyard sports, would you want to bring back?
Ooh.
All right.
I'll go first.
Okay, I say because understand, just for ladies and gentlemen to understand, all 3 of us, I mean, for the general populace, have grown up through the generations of video games.
Yeah.
Like from the time you guys were young till I was born was like the early stages of games where there's not that much history, and then all of a sudden it kind of takes off right about the time I come alive, and we've had a lot to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There's a game that I used to play 100% all the time, and I still play it till this day. I think is one of the greatest hockey games ever made. NHLPA 93.
93.
NHLPA 93. I play that game to this day. I had my Genesis, Sega Genesis burnt out. I had to go buy a mod Genesis, like a Wish.com Genesis to be able to play it.
You can still get a Genesis.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, what I got costs less.
A lot cheaper.
Costs less than what the original Genesis that they're selling in the store.
It make much out.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm not going to buy a retro. I'll just buy the thing that still plays all the Genesis games. So that's NHLPA 93. Best NHL game ever, hands down. The franchise I would bring back that's dead, it's called NHLPA 93. No, it was called the Pigskin Classic video game series. It was a football game that was played over the ages. Like you can play in like a caveman series, a Viking series, and it was like no rules football. Have you ever heard it or played it or seen it?
No.
It was an amazing arcade game. I used to go to the Ground Round on Route 1 in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, and play that game there. It's called Pigskin Classic. I'll send you a clip of it.
Okay.
One of the greatest things ever played on arcade. If you can't bring it, I'd say bring that back. So those are my two. NHLPA 93, Pigskin Classic.
Should we go in age order? Miguel, you go next.
Age order.
So there was a game called Pong, right?
That's old, man. It's old.
I'm sorry, we went the wrong way with age.
That's
yeah. I guess the one that I enjoyed the most of retro gaming was Tecmo Bowl.
Let's go.
Tecmo
I have
Super
that.
Bowl.
I still have that.
I love that one. That one was always fun to play, no matter how much time you put into it. You could do a whole franchise mode or just run a quick game. Yeah. But Bo Jackson was always the guy.
He was the best. He was the best.
As far as franchise I'd like to bring back, I don't recall the exact name of it, but it came out on PlayStation 2, and it was a video game. It came out like during the first Fast and Furious movie, and it was like I think it was based in Tokyo. You were in Japan, and you would be on the road in fully customizable cars. You had to race to. You pulled up behind cars, flashed your lights to start racing, and you would just like race in the streets of Tokyo.
That's cool.
One of the most funnest racing games I've ever played. I don't remember the name of the game. I know I haven't seen it since.
Similar to like a Need for Speed style, though, like almost like an underground style.
Something like that. But it was made in Japan. It wasn't an American game. It was made in Japan.
Yeah. Because I remember like when it comes to those kind of games, like I like Forza. I grew up playing Need for Speed. When Need for Speed made Underground 2. Mm-hmm. Some of the greatest gaming that existed when it came to cars. I mean, driving on the road in customizable cars, those are nice. For me, though, I'm a little off the kilter here. My favorite game, I'm going to call it retro for me. Okay. Let me just find out when it was made before you guys laugh at me.
You like retro. It was made in 2013.
I just realized did I pick a game, Mark, that came out when you were born? 93?
I was born in 92.
Okay, so you were definitely okay. 92. Still,
let me just
yikes.
All right, 96. Well, the original game was 96. I preferred the sequel, which came out in 2000. It was from Westwood Studios, which was then bought by EA and ruined it. So the series technically still was like recently producing, but it's trash. The originals are the best. Command and Conquer, Red Alert 2.
Yes.
I still have that game. I still play that game. I still play that. Roller Coaster Tycoon, like those games are my life.
By the way, on Microsoft Game Pass.
Yes, they are. Yes, I have them. It's great. Revitalized though, and again, this isn't retro because this was out on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Blitz the League.
Well, NFL Blitz.
Football game. No, not NFL Blitz. Blitz the League.
It
was a sports game. You were purposely hurting people. It was football with an extreme. There was drug use. You know, how to amp yourself up for drugs.
Oh wow!
Games. You could focus hit people.
I don't.
You could focus hit people where like as you're doing the impact hit, it would like you have to smash the button. You could break their leg.
It was
and then they
arcade,
get carved out of the game.
Oh, it was
no,
arcade.
it was on Xbox.
Console?
Like you did a whole season. Like you had a career and everything.
I kind of remember it in the arcade.
Oh no, I think they may have made a version of it in the arcade, but the actual console.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like you'd run your team, choose who's on what. You have to make sure they kind of pass their drug tests, and you'd hire stuff to mess with the opposing team. So like hire strippers to go to their hotel that game, and
that's crazy.
God, that game was amazing. Splits 2 was not as good. The
so
original
bring that
Blitz
back.
League,
So you want to bring
that back? Yes. If we're gonna make football as soft as it's getting anymore, at least give us the video game.
Right.
I mean, you could. I'm not kidding you. Because there was like a normal play style. Once you reach a certain thing, you would do like a premium style, like tackle animation or whatever it was. Right. There's ones where you would like grab a guy by the face mask as he's running by, helmet right off, and then just beat him with it.
Wow. I probably played that. I don't remember it, but I probably played that game.
So good.
I probably played that game.
So
good. So good.
I still have it. I think
it's on what? Xbox? Original Xbox or Xbox 360?
Original Xbox for the first one.
No, the black Xbox. So what we're gonna do now, while Mark goes and brings the cover art we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl a little bit. What'd you bring back here, Mark? Before we move on to talking about the Super Bowl, what'd you bring back?
A CD case. So for anyone that's too young,
CD case.
We used to use these to hold our movies, games, and music.
Yes.
First Cade. Oh my god, First Cade is only the greatest games on Xbox. We have.
Oh yeah, that's original Xbox.
Blitz the League.
Blitz the League,
which was just absolutely amazing.
Who's on the cover? Who's on the cover of that CD? Are they just made up guys, or are they real players?
Supposed to be, but this I can't remember his name now. Was it Taylor? It wasn't Taylor. I think it was modeled off Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah,
it's definitely Lawrence Taylor.
But I think all three of the guys on the front are modeled off players.
Yeah,
and they're all pretty, like they're kind of like main characters.
Yeah, that the other guy was Singletary.
Yeah.
And then of course I had Burnout, which was like a fun little racing game where you kind of make things happen. Destroy All Humans, the original, was so good. And then Mercenaries, again, if you've ever played Mercenaries, you kind of dropped into like the demilitarized zone of North Korea. Phenomenal game. And every one of those games has sequels, and every one of the sequels suck.
Now, Mark, it looks like you are somebody who keeps all your games and not trade them.
No, I keep the ones I love.
Oh, okay.
If they're like meh, like look, I love NHL. Yeah. I've owned every NHL game from like 95. I have 95. I've traded in like every one of those, with the exception of, was it 12 or 14 with Giroux on it? I had him sign that, so I have that. There's one with Brodeur on it because I'm a huge Brodeur fan, even though he's a devil.
Yeah,
I have that. But a lot of the game, like I've kept a lot of the ones I love. Like I was gonna say this one because this is actually one of my favorites of all time. It's Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
That's a great game.
That's
a great game.
I think it's the greatest Star Wars game ever made, personally.
Yeah.
And I'm interested because there's a new Lego coming out with Malak, and I'm like interested. But yeah, it's I've got like the collection of Assassin's Creeds. Yeah, I've got the collection of Fallouts. I've got the last ever NCAA football that was made,
which they're bringing back again.
They're supposed to be. They were supposed to 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I love the.
And then it gets some movies after that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so I was just saying we're going to move over to talk about the Super Bowl. There's I want to get just a little bit.
Does anyone here that's I know it's a whatchamacallit kind of question because no one actually gonna be able to answer me. Does anyone in Philly really care about the Super Bowl?
There's some people. There's
sound
Andy
off
Reid,
in the comments.
No.
At this point, no. I'm sorry, Andy. You've had your success. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there for Andy. Like I posted it already.
Andy, I love you, but I cannot stand Mahomes anymore. He is just. I was one thing at first where I was like, oh, he's just good. People are going to talk about him, whatever. The guy's just playing ball. Then I start actually listening to him talk, and I start seeing his interactions with other players. like the interaction with him and Justin Tucker. Disgusting. The interaction with him about the fines. The interactions of like players get touched. Like the Super Bowl last year. Oh, it was a penalty. It was cold. Same thing happens to him, and he throws a hissy fit about it. I'm not doing that. I don't deal with that kind of stuff. You're not worthy anymore. Get out of the league. I'm not dealing with that. I'm done with it.
He's
and I can't stand the Niners. So
he's too promotionable. You can't. They promote him out of the wazoo. He's what 6 times. 6 times. He's a starter for 6 times, and he's made the AFC Championship game 6 times. You can't. I guess you can't write that, but they are. But he's not the topic of conversation right now. The topic of conversation is really Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Don't care.
There's a huge conspiracy theory that I guess one political side is pushing that the Kansas City Chiefs only made it to the Super Bowl so Taylor Swift can, I guess if they win, post that vote for Biden in 2024, and that their relationship is fake, and that it's only being pushed by a narrative that's why the GOP is upset, because that's they think that's what's going to happen, that the Chiefs are going to win and Taylor Swift is going to promote Biden, and then Biden's going to. I'm like, that's very, very far fetched. Have you heard this, Miguel? You're shaking your head. What are your thoughts?
I've heard it. They're like freaking children over there in fucking Washington D.C. anymore. It's like, oh, he's doing this and then where are the laws being made? Where, like, I don't understand what's going on over there anymore. I always knew in D.C. not much got done. Like, laws took forever, right. But I don't recall like a bill that's been presented that's an actual like substance behind it.
We're talking about
other than Biden's been doing this, and Biden in the Ukraine, and Biden and Donald Trump and his sexual escapades. And
hold on? Can I just touch on this real quick? Was it like 4 years ago? The Chiefs played the Niners, and we were discussing an election coming up between Biden and Trump.
Yes.
And now we have the Chiefs and the Niners, and the general consensus is that the general election is going to be between Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
Did 2020, was that just like they hit that reset? So now we're finally, this is the reset. We've been 4 years of hell. Now we get to.
Oh, jeez. I can't imagine. Is that what
they go another 4 years of hell? So.
It's,
you know what? Hey, I have an idea. Just like this Super Bowl, America loses. So who cares?
Yeah. Like I was watching, they were talking about Fox News. Fox News is losing their mind over the fact that, this person, Taylor Swift, is so influential. And I said, she's allowed to be influential. But they're not pushing that. Like, she's not going to be out on the stage giving a speech. She's just there. And what they're saying is that their relationship is fake, which
I know there's like a whole thing because a lot of her, like a chunk of her music isn't owned by her anymore. And I know that the people who own it apparently have a lot of political ties, a lot of political push, and they've done stuff like that in the past where they've used her music on these things because they legally can. But you know what I say, as I just said a few minutes ago, I don't care. Guess what, Taylor Swift? You're from Philly. Come back, put on an Eagles jersey. Who cares about the rest? Let's go. Let's just enjoy the next year.
Travis has been doing Pfizer commercials for like half the season now. It's like, if you haven't seen the commercial, who cares anymore? Like,
it's just I think it's comical that they got this. She's like 34 years old, and they think that she's dictating the NFL outcome in the NFL just so that she can push her narrative. It just doesn't make sense. It just
let's fuck with people's real lives and set this whole shit up so we can, get votes to go one way. Like, come on, man.
People don't. Football players don't put their lives on the line and get beat up just so they can push a narrative. I just don't think that's an agenda. I just don't think that's happening.
Now, you want to here's my Super Bowl prediction of what's going to happen, right?
Let's go. All right, let's do. We're gonna start our Super Bowl prediction starting right now. Go.
So, for the first time ever, there's going to be a tight end is going to be MVP of the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce is going to catch 2 touchdowns. Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, and He's going to propose to Taylor Swift on the field. That's my prediction.
No,
That's my
They barely dated.
Put it in the books.
I'm writing it
Not
down,
happening.
and we're gonna
Not
make some
happening.
content on that right there.
Not happening at all.
Wow.
I just put it in there. My comments. Not a chance. Not a chance. She has spent most of their time since they've started dating on tour. She's not even. Is she even gonna? I want to know. I've heard people saying she's gonna make the Super Bowl. She
I don't
literally
think so.
performs in Tokyo like 12 hours prior to the game.
16 hours
17.
before.
17 hours.
Okay. How long is the flight from Tokyo to Vegas?
13. Which
Really?
Which
And
by the
hold
way, is also her like lucky number thing. Like
Right.
her
There's a
album.
whole thing. There's
Does
a whole
she not
13.
also have
That's
another
the
concert like the next day in like
Nobody's talking about that.
Kyoto?
Nobody's
Nobody
talking
cares
about
about
that.
that,
Nobody
yeah.
cares about that.
Like
They only care about
Uh-huh.
the day before and how she's going to get from Tokyo, Japan, to Las Vegas, Nevada. in
That's
16
even more
hours.
reason why.
So what if
why
we
she's
purposely
gonna get
just
proposed to? Because why not?
No.
They even
It's-
changed the flight number for it to equal 13, so she can get there on flight 13.
Right. They changed
No, they
one.
didn't.
They changed one to 1989, and they changed one to 87.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. God, it's February, isn't it? God, I really
It
hate
is.
this.
Yeah,
You know what's
it's
great about
February.
February? Is it the next season?
short.
Or the next month's
It's
March.
short.
That's the only thing that's great
It's
about February.
short. All right, so
February's the worst month.
Miguel, so you gave me an MVP, and you gave me a proposal, a marriage proposal. Who's winning, Miguel? Who do you think's winning?
Yeah, Kansas City's gonna win.
AC.
He only proposes if they win.
Right. Gotcha. Mark, you want to go? Or you just want to sit back and let me talk, and then you want to bring it
Yeah,
up?
I don't want to. Yeah, you do you.
All right, so I'll give MVP. I'll give MVP. I'm going to go with Kansas City as well. I don't know. Miguel's going to guess MVP Kelsey. I'm going to go with Gatorade color.
Oh.
I think the Gatorade color is going to be red. It's going to be red Gatorade. That's my prediction,
All right,
and I think Kelsey.
I-
I think, and I think
I'm gonna go grape. I'm gonna go grape Gatorade.
grape. Okay, grape.
Yeah.
Who drinks grape Gatorade?
It's good stuff, man. Grape's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, those that's my prediction. Travis Kelce, I think if he has a good game, which he just set a record with possessions or receptions in the history.
Well,
So
didn't he like catch 11 for 11 that last game?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
180.
I think they're going. I think Kelsey's going to go crazy and he's going to become MVP first time ever. I'll go with that too. I like that. I don't think San Francisco can beat them. They struggle against the Lions, and I think Kansas City. They've been there. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He's going to fold up. So, Miguel, you see Mark like shaking his like he's melting down over here, melting down.
He's crying in his hands right now.
Because
All right, Mick.
somehow Kansas City made it back, and somehow the team I have reached a hate for almost as high as the Cowboys has made it. I might as well be watching the Cowboys play in this
Well,
game.
technically, you are watching the Cowboys because they were originally started in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, so I'm watching the Western Cowboys.
Yeah, it's
Great.
funny. I think there was a meme that was like, live long enough to be a hero, but then become the villain as well.
Villain.
Like Kansas City was the hero to take down New England, and now they've lived long enough to become the villain.
We hate them so much.
Yeah.
I would prefer New England win a Super Bowl this year, which obviously can't happen. Like next year, go ahead, New England, win it all. I don't care.
Never happened.
Done.
Not with Mayor.
Gerard Mayo.
Yeah,
I think with Mayo they'll do fine. I think they just need a new team.
they'll be fine, but they're not winning the Super Bowl next year.
I mean, agreed, but hey, no one expected the Texans to even make the playoffs. So,
Very true.
Yeah,
so that was a shock. That
Sneaky.
round of applause for that guy. God, I hate this so much. I'm not watching. I'll be honest. Like it might be on in the house somewhere, or I might be out somewhere and catch glimpses. I'm not watching this. I could care absolutely less.
He's watching.
No, I'm sorry. I couldn't care less. There's nothing to it. I don't care about the commercials. I don't even know who's performing this year at the show. I forget. I think this one said,
Sure.
I don't
Sure.
care. I don't care.
Another prediction. Taylor Swift is the halftime show of next year's Super Bowl.
100%. Yeah, that's gonna be 100%. Yeah, that's it. I know you want to give us your prediction, Mark, but I think some analysts said that she has She has earned the NFL like $331 million from just her going to these
That
games.
doesn't surprise me.
FYI.
Look, we're gonna have some fun. You guys threw out tight end winning and MVP, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if the guy's playing because I haven't checked anyone. Nick Bosa wins MVP. He sacks Mahomes 6 times, just gets after it, sets an all-time NFL record for it because you know what? Mahomes deserves to eat dirt. As either that or it's gonna be Purdy, and I'm gonna hate my life forever because I'm never gonna hear the end of it. My uncle is just on it about Purdy. I'm not rooting for anybody to win, but I am predicting for San Fran to win. San Fran comes out, beats us. I think Bucker is gonna hit a doink for us. I think that the Kansas City O-line is going to struggle like they did against ours against this San Fran front. And I think San Fran, while Purdy might be a, short stack compared to what you're going to get from Mahomes in quarterback play, even though people tend to think for some reason that he's some unexpected god coming out of the West, even though he's literally just in the best system you could be in right now. Put any quarterback there, they're going to succeed. I promise. He's surrounded by talent at every position. He has a great O-line, even if they're dirty. He's got phenomenal receivers, even if I don't like him. He's got one of the best running backs to ever play the game. Like I would literally put McCaffrey probably in like a top 10 running back of all time.
I saw somebody posted that Brock Purdy's the 10th best player on his team.
I think he's closer to like the 30th best player on his team, but we can go with 10th. They have great D-line, great secondary. Like this team is just all around. They've got a good team. Their defense can handle the offense of the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense, I think the Chiefs defense is good, very good. I think the Chiefs defense is good enough to keep the game close. I don't think the Chiefs offense has enough weapons to win this game compared to what the Niners have. So the Niners win it 27-24.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And like I said, he hits a doink, and it's going to cost him. And you know what? As I mentioned earlier, America loses. So that's it for me, man.
America loses.
Guess what, guys? Only like I'll get the exact number, but it's only like 50 days away from the draft.
Yeah, well, it's also 56 days away from spring training.
Yeah.
And hey,
Wait,
we're in February.
When do starting pitchers come in?
February. This February, there will be Phillies baseball this month. So there's something to look forward to. I know we talked at the top of the podcast that the
84 days. I'm sorry.
How much?
84 days till the draft.
84, okay.
We're almost there, guys. Less than 100.
At the top of the podcast, we talked about how great it is to be a Phillies sports fan right now.
Oh, yeah.
There's a few things that are going on. The Phillies, I guess, City Connect jerseys got dropped, and they are horrendous.
Is that the ones that look like the Seahawks?
Yes, they look disgusting.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And so we have that, and then we also have Joel Embiid, who I guess he strapped himself up and glued himself together and put himself out in the court during the Golden State Warriors game.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't look like himself. He only scored 14 points. Went down the floor and someone landed on his knee, and now he's going to be out for a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Do that?
It's not good.
I look it up.
And then I was going to put the Flyers. Don't forget the
Flyers in their own
London police. London being that of Ontario, not
London,
England.
London, Ontario. Right? Him and four other players.
Hold on.
What?
I got it. Can I share that? I got to share this real quick. Let me just make sure everything else is clear. All right. So I just looked this up, and I want to make sure we're discussing this properly.
Go ahead.
It's loading. It's loading. So these are the jerseys.
Why does that say chicks with dicks?
Nice. So these are apparently the jerseys, right?
Yeah. Those are the jerseys.
You see these two custom designs right here?
Yeah.
I would take both of those over.
The ones, they look too much like the Philly Union like jerseys. It looks like the colors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's it could very well be a leak. It's just that doesn't make sense of why they would put that kind of like lettering. The Philly lettering on that is just way off. Like,
I know. Let's go back to the MLB, change the rules. Let us bring back extra jerseys, and we wear the Shamrock ones in March again because those are cool.
Yeah.
And we don't wear these City Connect jerseys. What's with the City Connect junk? Like, at least do like the Skyline or something. Yeah, I know. And it was garbage in the NBA thing. They had the whole in-season tournament. I don't even watch basketball. I heard so much about the players complaining about the courts.
Oh, because they were like red. They were all different. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, bro, like, if you're gonna do something, do it right.
Yeah.
So apparently the jersey was influenced by. Remember when the Eagles did the blue and the yellow jerseys?
Yeah, they were very disgusting.
They were trying to mimic the flag of.
Why?
Yeah, so that's exactly what they were doing. They're doing what they're doing with these jerseys. They're doing the same.
But nobody liked those. Nobody liked those jerseys.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Here we go.
That's a shame.
Hey, you know what? That's a great day to be a Philly fan. Welcome to us. We're here and we're having fun.
In 1990, I think it was 1995, the Phillies put out they put out a hat. They wore a hat. They wore a blue hat, and the Phillies players did not like the blue hat. And Lenny Dykstra went on to Jay Leno show, and he took like a whole bunch of the hats and shredded them through a shredder. That's how much he hated those hats. I can see them doing that with this jersey. That doesn't look good. It's not a good thing. I don't think it's going to be.
Remember when the Phillies used to play on like St. Patrick's Day and come out with the green Phillies jersey? That was fire.
And I want
that was fire. I want that jersey.
Yeah. But see, now they don't play anymore. Their first game isn't until April now, so they don't even play in March anymore. So that's another thing. That's a whole thing. A whole other thing to talk about. Mark, you didn't give us a color for Gatorade. You got a Gatorade color?
Lemon lime.
Black.
Orange.
Black for your heart against this Super Bowl. How dare you be so against the Super Bowl?
Go to the ice mist that's how my heart is.
Ice heart.
No Gatorade bath.
No Gatorade. Oh man! All right.
Debo be able to lift the Gatorade? I mean, his shoulder's a little tweaky.
Right. He's gonna have to. Right. Someone's gonna have to do it.
They're gonna miss. They're gonna get someone else.
No,
they're gonna miss. They'll get Brock. They're gonna give it to Brock, Mr. Irrelevant.
They're gonna give it to Chase Young, who they're about to bench.
Now, also, I want to point out, everybody keeps talking about he's the first quarterback drafted last to start a Super Bowl. There have been two quarterbacks who have been undrafted that started a Super Bowl. Do you know who they are?
Undrafted quarterback that started a Super Bowl.
There's two of them.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Hostetler?
Nope.
No. Two undrafted. Trent Dilfer?
Nope. He was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
They are within the past 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
In my life.
And one of them won a Super Bowl. The other one did not.
We drafted Nick Foles.
Doug Flutie?
Yep. Nope.
Doug Flutie was definitely drafted.
Yeah. Doug Flutie was drafted.
They were very high too.
I forgot. Yeah.
And then he failed to pan out.
I'm just throwing out names like I just
one of them is a Hall of Famer.
AFC, NFC?
NFC. NFC. They're both NFC.
Gannon? No.
I was thinking Kurt, but Kurt was drafted, right?
Boom. Kurt Warner.
Oh,
Kurt Warner.
I know football.
Kurt Warner. He was
never
drafted, picked up by the Rams, won the Super Bowl with the Rams.
Yeah, forgot he was bagging groceries. I forgot.
Bagging groceries with the Iowa Barnstormers in the Arena Football League.
Right.
And the second guy, Jake Delhomme.
Oh wow.
With the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, Carolina. Yeah.
Jake Delhomme. So remember that there's two guys.
Started a Super Bowl.
He started a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Oh, Purdy, you suck.
Yeah.
You got drafted. You're
That was their expansion year too. That was the first year of expansion, wasn't it?
No, that was their expansion team. There was Steve Berline. That was their quarterback for when they expanded.
Who was I just heard is expand? Was it NHL or is it? I think it's NHL. They're adding,
NHL they expanded to
Salt Lake, right?
Oh, Salt Lake, really?
I think they just during all this is happening right now with Carter Hart and others. They announced they're looking at expansion. I think to Salt Lake.
Wow,
which would be crazy. Dope because Salt Lake, for those who don't need drugs and alcohol to have a good time, is actually. I mean, the city itself is like it's not like a happening city. It's a beautiful city, though. God damn.
Oh, yeah, it is. I've seen it. So, that'll do it for us. I think. The Super Bowl isn't until not this weekend, but next weekend. We can talk about the Pro Bowl. I'm sure next week. But
so excited! So excited!
You know what we can do? We can just talk more about our retro video games. That sounds like a better podcast.
All right.
How about we do a podcast about Jason Kelsey's podcast?
Right.
A reactionary podcast.
We're going to react to the New Heights podcast next week. That'll do it from us. I'm Mike. That's Miguel. That's Mark. Thanks for listening.
I'm going to bed next week. As an Eagles fan, I'm going to wake up as an Eagles fan.
We do EAGLES Eagles. Let's go, Birds. Hit that music, Mike.